How's it going, guys? Josue back again with another video on HearmeRaw, and welcome to my office. We're in my car. I love my car. I noticed that in this generation, a lot of us, maybe in the last generation too, who knows, we're spending a lot of times in our cars. We're having a lot of important conversations in our cars. We're feeling safe in our cars, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that maybe we're not feeling so good at home. And I noticed this with both my generation and the previous generation, because if one generation is kind of having an issue in one household, the issue is not just affecting that one generation, both generations are struggling. And the thing is, when both in society now, we're being told not to express ourselves. We're trying to separate ourselves. We're separating the good from the bad. We're saying this is good, this is bad. We kind of have all kind of become judge, jury, and executioner, and we're kind of choosing what is, but what is. It's not really on us to say. But the issue, the thing I want to talk about today, something that I've been going through a lot. A lot has been coming up for me, and when it comes to my childhood, and I want people to really rediscover their childhood and remember what happened, because at that time, we didn't know as much as we know now. Now that we have all this information and we have gone through these things, and we have gone through to school. Maybe you didn't go to school, but even if you don't go to school, you can still read books, you can still talk to people, you can still learn without going to school. Once I was done with school, I really hated school, and I did learn a lot from school, but I stopped learning after school. I was done. I'm done with following directions. I'm done with just homework. I'm done with this. It didn't really spark me. I'm Pisces. I'm a very creative person, and school didn't really spark me to be creative. At least there was part of it as that, because the arts is not as revered as engineering and math and things like that. My family always told me to be an accountant. They didn't say anything about being an artist or anything like that. But then again, how can they say that? Because growing up, I did draw for a little bit, but I stopped. I wasn't a chorus, but then I stopped. I didn't really take singing anywhere. I didn't really dance. I didn't really express myself creatively. I was more of a thinker. I was always used to say that my favorite class was math, and I think part of it is because the world didn't make sense to me, but numbers made sense. Numbers cannot be complicated. History didn't make sense because it was lies, it's his story. The victor writes the story, so whoever wins the war or whatever gets to write the story. So you're hearing one person's point of view, and the person that lost, you might not hear their full point of view. So it's skewed. And I think from a very young age, my intuition was really good. So when I'm hearing the truth, I think when I hear the truth, my body reacts. I love it. I have energy. I'm like, yes, give me more, give me more. But when someone's feeding me BS, I literally start falling asleep. I can't keep up. Literally, I will fall asleep. There are times when I was in school and the teacher was talking, I'm just like, I don't need this, and I'm just falling asleep. But if something excites me and gets me going, I can have energy for days, for years, for decades. But yeah, so coming out of school, I didn't really keep studying because I didn't know what I was interested in, and the things that I found out that I am now, it really does keep me going. And also too, health-wise, food-wise and emotional-wise, it's a lot. It is truly a lot. But I want to talk about how I separated myself at a very young age, the masculine and the feminine. And one topic I want to talk about here is men do not really get comforted, in this day and age. We are portrayed usually in social media and on TV and things like that as a hard and tough person. You have those people like Prince that kind of stepped out of that and showed that you could be a nice little hybrid. You could be balanced and have your masculine and feminine, and you can express yourself how you want, and you could own it. And people love Prince. Some people are able to do it, but societal pressures makes it hard for everybody to do it, because the majority of men are not expressing their emotions, and it's very hard. And for me, at a very young age, I decided to stop feeling. I decided to stop crying. One of the reasons why we have a lot of the diseases that we have today is the fact that when doctors try to fix the body, or they try to heal the body by with pills, pharmaceuticals, and those pharmaceuticals target one part of the body. And if you're messing with only one part of the body, you're likely, and usually they're not healing it, they're just kind of shutting off the sensor. They're shutting off, they're numbing the pain, but the problem doesn't go away. So if you numb the pain in one place, what's going to happen? pain's gonna go somewhere else, because like your body's trying to tell you you need to do something. Something happened and you need to deal with it. But then you numb it, and it's like, oh, your body's like, oh, I can't tell you that, I can't speak to you from this point of view anymore. Now I have to go here. I have to go here. And that's what happens. The body is connected, and we can't mess with one part and then go to another. That's why pharmaceuticals have so many side effects. You read something, you're just like, man, oh, I have a cough, but if I take this, like, I might lose my leg. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but that's literally how it is. You might have like an upset stomach, but then you look at the side effects, and it's like, oh, internal bleeding or something like that. It's like, whoa, what? So, and it's the same thing with your masculine and your feminine. You can't separate the two. So it's the same thing with the light and the dark. You can't separate the two. I talk about, the light and the dark, trying to be good all the time, and then not releasing your anger and not releasing your sadness, trying to be, good vibes all the time. That's going to mess you up. All forms of expressions are necessary. And, these are things that you might have heard. These are lessons that you might have read about. You probably read a quote about it. But for me, like, I can read something, but it's not until I experience it myself, that's when it's instilled into me. Like, I can read something, but then I have to go out in life and live life and then experience it. That's why you can't really isolate yourself. And many of us are isolating yourself because we don't know how to feel anymore. We've been numbing ourselves for so long. We're lashing out. We're angry. We have so many addictions. We're always distracting ourselves, and we have no idea why we're doing that. And it's because we're not in touch with our emotional body. Kids are very much in touch with their emotional body, but then at times we choose to cut it off. For me, the world didn't make much sense, and I was having a hard time. Like, this world doesn't make sense. If I keep my heart open, if I keep my emotions open, if I keep my sensitivities open, I'm not gonna last here. It hurts. Like, I can't live the way I am. And also too, being told, a lot of kids, we get told no a lot. As a kid, you get told no a lot, and that's something that you don't want to do to a kid. Like, you just keep on putting that kid into a box. When the kid tries to be themselves, you tell them, no, that's not right, you should do this. It's like, who are you to say that? And then so at a very young age, we're told to not be ourselves. So it goes deep, guys. It goes very, very deep. And at this point in day and age now, we have the time and we have the knowledge to be able to say, okay, I'm in the driver's seat now. I'm going to choose what beliefs serve me or not. So I'm going to take the time to get to know myself. I'm going to take the time to see what's going on in here. And a great way to see what's going on in here is to look out here. Look around you. We experience the world from the inside out. We experience the world from within. It's like a projection. It's being projected from inside out. If you really pay attention, if you're aware, if you're not distracted, you'll notice that your thoughts are manifesting around you. That's how the world works. But yes, so I decided to stop feeling. I said I wasn't gonna cry anymore because seeing a lot of crazy stuff when I was younger. Grew up in Haiti. In school in Haiti, I don't know if they still do it now, but in school the teachers are allowed to hit you. They can hit you with whatever they want, whether it's a branch, a piece of wood, could be electrical wire, whatever they have. They can hit you with it, and that's perfectly fine. That's how it is. So I'm like, man, if I'm gonna be getting hit, like, I can't cry. And then of course so yeah, I chose not to cry. Also too, because I wanted to please people, I chose many times not to say how I was feeling because I wanted other people to feel better. So I shut myself down. I shut down my voice. I felt like my voice didn't really matter. So I did a lot of things to myself. That's the thing. You have to stop playing the victim and just hold yourself accountable. You can't control what other people do, but you can control how you react. You can choose to take a deep breath. You can choose to step back, just zoom out, and look at the situation and react. You don't have to react. You can respond. You don't have to react. You don't have to go, huh! And you can just like, and then you can respond peacefully, quietly. But of course, sometimes sometimes of course you can get mad, and that's fine. It's okay. Anger is a powerful tool. Anger is like a fire. When you got a lot of anger in you, that means you're desperate. Not desperate. I'm gonna say desperate, but you're in need of change. That means change needs to happen, and you need to use your voice or whatever it is to inspire that change to happen. And in order for change to happen, we have to take action. You can't just want it. You do have to take action. But yeah, so if once you start deciding that these emotions are good, these emotions are bad, that's not the case. Every emotion has its place and time. So when you cut one off, then you just you're no longer fully being yourself. When it's time to get sad, you choose not to appear sad. When it's time to get angry, you choose not to appear angry. But you're feeling it inside. Your body's feeling it, but your face is like no. But you're gonna show it in some way. These things manifest. You cannot hide it. And this goes back to the whole things for men. Men do express a lot of anger. Men usually they either express a lot of anger and aggression, or they don't say much, and they kind of like they're very quiet. It's like two extremes, but we need to be balanced. We need to be able to be be fierce and blunt and at one end of the spectrum, but also be able to be kind and peaceful. That's the balance of the masculine and the feminine. But how can we get there if we are afraid to express ourselves? If we've been told not to express ourselves for all these years, so it makes it really tough. So I'm getting to the point now, like I'm really, really working on it. I'm sharing it on social media, and people are speaking up about it too. But it's necessary for us to express ourselves. If you don't, a lack of expression leads to depression. And expression is not just about expressing your gifts and talents. It's about expressing your emotions. We are humans. We have emotions. And sometimes crying can be the best thing for you. Like I cried this morning, and it felt amazing. Because I'm letting out a lot of tears. I have tears pent up for like decades, man. Decades of not crying that I have within me. And like, if you look at the spiritual reasons behind things like eczema and psoriasis, and it's like, the body's always detoxing, and that means it's not just physical things like ingredients, it's also emotions, anger and sadness. Yes, they have their time, but if you don't release them through either like for something that's good for anger, martial arts, breathing, and really that's like you can release it in an effective way. You don't have to punch a wall or headbutt a glass or something like that. No, you can do some martial arts, you can do some yoga, you can go for a run, you can channel that anger and use it constructively. And yes, when you're sad, you can definitely cry. You can let it out. Cry and you'll feel that much better. I cried this morning, and then after I was crying, I got really mad. So I needed to cry, and I needed to release some anger. But I didn't like hit anything. I just kind of like I just let out and just like, oh, I'm so mad. It's like, but I'm not gonna hit it. Like I just wanted to like release it, and I just felt the heat coming off my body. And I was like, okay, all right, man. So you're mad. Change needs to happen. Let's go. Let's make the change. And if you make the change and you apply and you realize that you sat there and you knew how you were feeling, you do what's necessary according to what you're feeling, and then guess what? You can overcome that anger and you can overcome that sadness. But if you keep it in, it's just gonna keep manifesting in disease. It's gonna keep manifesting in odd behaviors, addictions, and things like that. So it's better to release it. You do not want to be emotionally constipated, which can lead to actual constipation because it's very stressful when you're not releasing your emotions, and a lot of stress can lead to digestive issues like irritable bowel syndrome. So it's all connected. Everything that happens in the physical world is a manifestation of something that's happening emotionally or spiritually. So you have to. There are more things to look at. It's not just the food, and it's not just the environment as well. But the environment is another important factor. But many people avoid what's going on within them. So that's my reminder for today, guys. Both men and women, express yourself, do it constructively, express yourself in a way to move forward. Do your best not to play the victim game. We do it sometimes, and we're in a time right now where many of us have gotten used to playing the victim card. But now, instead of complaining, let's talk constructively. So this is what happened. What can I learn from it? And then apply what you have learned from it. And keep it going for every lesson. And the more efficient you get with this, the easier life will be. Not to say that life will be easy, but it'll be easier because now you're playing. Now you're playing with all your decks. Now you know yourself. This is self-mastery. This is really going within and knowing what you are working with, and this is important. How can you steer a boat? How can you fly a ship if you haven't read the owner's manual? And this body, you're not this body. You're a spirit. You're infinite. And this body is a vehicle, and it's also a partnership. This body is a vehicle, it's a partnership. It's its own entity, and it's working with you. It's got your back, and it's about time that you had its back. So, and by having its back, I mean reconnecting with it, reconnecting with your emotions, reconnecting with the physical and the emotional body. I love you, body. Thank you so much for everything that you have done for me. Thank you for having my back. I'm so amazed by your healing prowess, and doctors don't heal, and healers don't heal. Anybody who's healing or helping someone to get better, is the body does the healing. The body does the healing, and the doctor is assisting. So if you got like a bad thing, like gunshot or whatever, the doctor is assisting in your healing. If you're doing something like a psychiatrist or a spiritual healer or guru or something like that, that person is not healing you. They're setting the space in order for you to heal. They are assisting you in your healing. So it's a beautiful thing. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button below and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.